when the solution is just too simple. I want to look at the story of Naaman being healed and how he almost missed his healing because he just felt like it's just way too easy. This can't be it. Could we miss our solutions? Could we miss our blessings because we're looking for something much more complicated, something more fantastical? Let's pick up in verse 1 of 2 Kings chapter 5. It says, Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and in high favor, because by him Yahweh had given victory to Syria. This was a mighty man. Commander of an army, king of Syria, a great man with his master and in high favor. Think about it, that's taken a long time to accumulate. Because of him, Yahweh had given great victory to Syria, and he was a mighty man of valor. Mighty man of valor. But he was a leper. I underline that sentence because how telling is that little piece there? All these great things about him. He had great wealth. He had great stature. He had a great reputation. He had favor. He had victories in everything he was doing. But this little thing, he was a leper. Now, he wasn't living in a society with Israelites where he would be ostracized and put out because of that. But this still was a huge problem. But I think it's so telling that he has all these things going on, but he was a leper. Have you ever known someone to have so many great things going for them? They're educated, they're healthy, they look good, they have a lot of favor, but they have this one thing about them. This is a story similar like that with Naaman. And you and I, maybe we have a story. Maybe you have a story like that. So many things are going well. Things are going well at work. Things are going well at home. Things are going well here. Things are going well there. But he was a leper. But you have this issue. There's an issue in the marriage. There's an issue in your integrity. There's an issue in your character. There's an issue with your health. Everything's going so well, but there's this one thing if I could get right. And that's just not right. How can I do that? How can that be? Everything going so well, but my finances, but my relationship here. It's kind of similar. In verse 2, it says, Now the Syrians on one of their raids had carried off a little girl from the land of Israel, and she worked in the service of Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, Would that my Lord were with the prophet who is in Samaria. What is she saying? She's saying, man, if you only knew the prophet that we had there, man, you'd be good. She said to her mistress, would that he be there, skipping down, he could cure him of his leprosy. So Naaman went in and told his Lord, Thus and so spoke the girl from the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, Go now, I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he went, taking with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 changes of clothes. Now that doesn't sound like a lot to you and I. So, but if you looked at it in today's time and what it equated to, let me look up one of the commentaries. It says 10 talents of silver would equate to about $20,000 and $60,000 in gold. So think of sending someone almost $100,000. And I love the attitude back in these days. When you never come to someone requesting a blessing or an item empty-handed, you always came with some kind of gift. 80,000. How desperate, how big of a deal was this to him? How big of a deal is it to you? I have this issue. There's this thing in my life. There's this one piece. And he's willing to put it all out there and say, look, whatever I got to do. Of course, from this slave girl that I have, she said there's something here that's going to help. So he sends this gift. And where we pick up at. So he went and taken him 10 talents of gold, 6,000 shekels of gold, 10 changes of clothing. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, which read, When this letter reaches you, know that I have sent to you, naming my servant, that you may cure him of his leprosy. He sent the letter to the king, thinking, I need to go talk to the king. And when the king of the Israel read the letter, he tore his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and make alive? That this man sends word to me to cure a man of his leprosy? Only consider and see how he is seeking a quarrel with me. Seeking a quarrel with him? Why do you think that? It seems like he's setting him up because he knows he can't do this for a fight. So he can say, oh, you won't help me? You won't cure me? He's like, I can't do this. But then Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, he sent to the king saying, "Why have you torn your clothes? Let him come down to me, that he may know that there's a prophet in Israel." So Naaman came with his horses and chariots and stood at the door of Elisha's house. And Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, "Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored, and you shall be clean." Think about this. This man did not come along. He came with a whole full procession. He's a commander. He's an army official. So he came here himself and his whole chariots and horses and all these men, and they came to this prophet's door. And I'm sure it was overwhelming, the sight. And who does Elisha send? Does he come himself because he's a big dignitary? It's as if the president of some country coming to you and asking you for a favor, and you send them your servant at the door and say, "Tell him to do this." And he didn't even go see the man. But he told them, his messenger, to tell him, "Go wash in Jordan." How exciting. He's finally got his answer. Just do this. Wouldn't it be great to just get your answer? You're like, all you got to do is do this. Look, just go and read your Bible. Just go and pray. Just go and ask for forgiveness. Just take this class. And whatever your issue is, he says, "I just need you to go and do this, and it's done." Can you imagine being told by God or Yahshua, Jesus, or by any prophet and saying, "Look, this is your issue. This is your health problem. This is your relationship problem. This is where you're stuck. This is your debt problem. Whatever it is, this is my one thing that's really killing me." He says, "Here's what you do." Can you imagine being told that? And it being so stinking simple, so unbelievably just basic that you're like, "You kidding me, right?" I mean, it's so basic that you stuck your nose up at it and be like, "That's just the most ridiculous." Everybody does that. That's just, that can't be right. Well, Naaman had a similar attitude. In verse 11 it says, "But Naaman was angry and went away, saying, Behold, I thought that he would surely come out to me and stand and call upon the name of Yahweh his God and wave his hand over the place and cure the leper." See, his thoughts, his expectations of what he was supposed to receive right here did not match reality, and therefore he almost missed his blessing, guys. And I wonder how many blessings we've missed out on. How many answers are right there in front of us that he's told us to do, from someone close to us who's been telling us this, from someone not close to us, a coworker, or right there in his word where we just read it in the scriptures and it hit and pricked our hearts. And he says, it's simple. Just do this thing. We may have had a dream about this. I don't know what it is, but it's something that conjuring up in you. It's just basic. And we're about to miss it. And we've been missing it because it's too basic. It's too simple. Because we thought that it was supposed to be something grand. I mean, how many times have I heard or thought when I pray for this, something magical and something strange is going to happen? Like, give me peace. Give me a financial blessing. Help me with this job. And we thought some transformation was going to happen and some great experience. And we can tell about later. And this light shone so brightly, I didn't know who it was. And I didn't see that person again. We thought something like that was going to happen. And then somebody simply said, "Hey, are you looking for a job?" Or there's an opening that came up or you saw whatever it is that you wanted. Or just go and talk to this. Like, no, it's got to be something bigger. It's got to be something great. Have we missed some blessings because of that? Naaman's almost got them about to miss it. And is downright ticked off and angry. Because he's like, nah, my expectations was supposed to be much greater than this. This was supposed to be great. You know who I am. And that's another thing. Sometimes the thing that we're being asked to do is greater. We feel like it's below who we are. Sometimes we got to get out the way. We got to think, like, who are you? You're not that great. You're not that amazing that you can't lower yourself or get to that level and just do what needs to be done. Who are you? I'm Naaman. I got a king out of army. He should have came out here and talked to me. He should have called on his God and did some great. No, look, you need to do the basic thing and humble yourself. So he says, I thought that surely he would come out to me, stand and call upon the name of Yahweh his God, and wave his hand over the place and to cure the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean? See, he was reasoning and thinking this whole thing through. Lean not on your own understanding, guys. Lean not on your own. I know you got to figure that out. I know you're smart. I know you're educated. I know you can read. I know you have experience. But God is telling you, don't lean on your own understanding, trying to figure it out and thinking that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't. He's about to miss a blessing. I wonder how many people have gone to their grave because they just said that's just too easy. The solution is too simple. The solution is too simple for me to do. I need something complicated. I need something that's going to be tough and hard. Climb the mountain, throw my hands in the air like yeah, and drink the pollen from this rose that's sitting up there somewhere and mixing it to a tea. Like it don't have to be that complicated. And I wonder if we're missing it. He says, that river you're sending me to, the Jordan, that's a dirty, muddy river. Man, surely these other rivers are better. Come on, what kind of blessing is this? I remember one young man wanted some prayers and asked me to pray with him. He says, will you pray with me? I said, pray. And I'm about to start praying. He said, do you want me to repeat it? Are you going to do it? He wanted to be something really grand. And I'm like, prayer is enough. Prayer is enough. He says, your faith. You know, one woman said, you remember the woman who says, if I just touch the hem of his garment, it don't have to be complicated. My faith says it can be simple. Is your faith making it so complicated that God can't work? Or is you're making it tougher? Is it going to take 5 and 6 years to get to this so that you can feel like you had an experience? So he turned away in rage. In verse 13 it says, but his servant came near him and said to him, my father, it is a great word that the prophet has spoken to you. Will you not do it? Has he actually said to you, wash and be clean? So he went down. Look, it's just simple. I got 2 verbs in here, wash and be clean. And really just one commandment, just wash. Just go dip 7 times. If you did it and it didn't work, that's one thing. But to not even do it. So he went down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan according to the word of the man of God. And his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child. And he was clean. Simple. Simple. Don't leave it on the table because it's just too simple. Guys, listen to me. It may be as simple as pick up your Bible and read it. I need you to be in the Word every day. I need you to start fasting. I need you to start praying and asking for forgiveness for this issue. You're not praying about it. You're not doing well. Read the Bible. They're just so basic. Everybody knows it. It's got to be something. No, you're not even going to the community. You're not even meeting together as a body. You're not going to church. You're not doing the things you know you're supposed to be doing. Just the basic things on your heart. You think it's too simple. So I don't know what it may be, listening to the advice, hearing out what those relatives or friends are saying. So be attentive, please. If there's that one thing, look, I got everything going on. So many things are going on, but this is one thing. Just listen. Don't miss the solution because it's too simple. And be like Naaman, who almost missed it, but for that his servant who told him otherwise. May God bless you and may he keep you, and may we be basked in the blessing that Yahweh has for us, even though it's so basic and so simple.